Checks are on the way, everybody. Here's the news that you want to know. Developments around the fourth stimulus check and a lot of progress and movement is happening around the fourth stimulus bill. So the crisis continues and many states want to continue support to the most vulnerable populations. For example, back in April, an additional $1 billion has been allocated to the SNAP program or food stamps to help give families more money as inflation grew. The funding provided helps up to 25 million American families struggling with food insecurity during the crisis. Some families may receive more than $95 depending on the family size, but $95 is the minimum families will receive. The expanded benefits were also set to expire on September 30th, but many states opted to continue them every single month, everybody. And also know this, folks. More states might announce the decision to extend benefits between now and January 1st, 2022. According to the USDA, the average family receives around $210 per month in food stamps, and eligibility requirements are different for every state. There are other relief programs that can help families struggling financially. Child tax credits, for example, worth up to $600 and $900 could be sent to parents in 2022. That comes as payments might double. For 6 months, eligible families enjoyed a $300 payment as part of an expansion, including the American Rescue Plan that was passed in March. However, it has not been confirmed whether families will receive a $300 payment on January 15, 2022. Nevertheless, folks, here's what you guys gotta know. Biden's administration is crafting a bill that will return the payment in February, with a back payment issued for the missed January installment. The deadline for Congress to extend the $300 child tax credit payments into 2022 is only December 28th, and there has been no indication that a deal will be reached by then. Democrats have pushed Congress to renew child tax credit payments in 2022, but West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin has so far opposed it. Since the Senate has adjourned for the rest of the year and not passed the bill yet, the IRS will not have enough time to process the payment before January 15th. So if the Build Back Better legislation is approved, that means the fourth stimulus checks are approved as well. Parents of children ages 6 and under have received a monthly check of up to $300 for each child and a monthly check of up to $250 for children between 6 and 17. The checks account for half the enhanced credit, and the other half is received from families who submit their 2021 tax returns this year. The total credit, everybody, amounts to $3,600 for each younger child, and up to $3,000 for each one older. Now, normal child tax credits used to be up to $2,000 for each child to age 17, and parents would claim them in their yearly on their tax returns. Now, millions of Americans rely on Social Security as their main source of income in the United States, and very few of these people are collecting the maximum benefits available. And now millions of Americans rely on Social Security as the main source of income in the country, and very few people are collecting the maximum benefits available. In 2021, the maximum benefit was around $46,000, and for 2022, the maximum benefit is expected to reach around $50,000. This is thanks to the COLA increase of 5.9% caused by inflation. Now, while those collecting maximum benefits might be okay, the vast majority of people are suffering on a fixed income, and the cost of goods and services continue to rise around them. So now we see that the Senior Citizens League has been working very tirelessly, everybody, at trying to get those collecting Social Security a fourth stimulus check. So the group started a campaign that has garnered plenty of signatures and attention. Over 1 million people, in fact, have signed the petition, hoping to help millions of people. So fourth stimulus checks could definitely be approved if President Biden does start taking more action and send out more stimulus checks. Now, if you were hoping for a long-awaited tax refund to arrive before the end of the year, you might have to wait a few more weeks. Checks have been confirmed, everybody. Checks have been confirmed, and here's the latest news about the fourth stimulus check. The IRS has been dealing with a backlog of errors and amended returns that it has been trying to sort out. This includes 2020 tax returns that have mistakes relating to the recovery rebate credit, missing information, or suspected identity theft. Recently, the IRS updated its operations on December 20th, noting that it will issue another batch of corrections under its unemployment compensation exclusions. In total, the IRS said it has around 6.2 million unprocessed individual returns. Also, the IRS has issued more than 11.7 million refunds worth around $14.4 billion. This is stuck on the same amount since it was last issued up in November when it sent out 430,000 payments worth more than $500 million to taxpayers. Those checks averaged out to around $1,200 each. Now, if you still have not received a tax refund, the IRS will send you a letter if it needs more information. That's under the provision under the American Rescue Plan Act. So some qualifying Americans will see as much as $8,000 under the Child Independent Tax Credit. In order to qualify, parents need to have an AGI of under $125,000 and 2 children under 13. The funding is to help parents pay for the costs that go into raising and caring for a child. Parents can claim up to $8,000 for 1 child and $16,000 for more than 2 kids. The money can be claimed on a tax refund with qualifying expenses like childcare, transportation, and other costs. So while college kids actually typically age out, parents can actually rest easy, knowing some students have received aid from their university or college. Many students received as much as $3,000. $40 billion altogether has been distributed to students and colleges.
Is pass the most consequential piece of legislation for working families since the 1930s. What's happening in America, as I think most people know, is the very rich are becoming much richer while working families are struggling. And what we are saying is maybe, just maybe, now is the time for government to represent ordinary people, not just wealthy campaign contributors. And what we are running into is enormous opposition from the drug companies, because they don't want to have us lower the cost of prescription drugs. The healthcare industry surely does not want us to expand Medicare to cover dental, eyeglasses, and hearing aids. The fossil fuel industry doesn't want us to tackle climate change. This is a consequential and enormous struggle. We're going to win it.
Well, Senator, I'm sure lobbying is going on as it always does, but you're also running into opposition within your own party. You've got at least 2 senators who say they will not vote for $3.5 trillion. Meanwhile, in the House, you've got progressives saying if that doesn't pass, they won't vote for the infrastructure bill, and everything is in a standstill. Would you take less in the Senate?
Tony,
go ahead.
Tony, look, we got 50 members of the United States Senate. We're getting zero support from the Republicans who do not want to lower the cost of prescription drugs. They don't want to make community colleges tuition free. They want to give tax breaks to their billionaire friends. We got 50 people.
Senator.
We can't lose one. So what we are trying to do is negotiate, and I think at the end of the day, we are going to come up with an agreement. Now, you ask me about compromise. I have compromised. The bill that should have been passed, in my judgment, was a $6 trillion bill. If you take climate change into consideration, that's the kind of money that we need. We've already made a significant compromise.
But would
Senator,
you consider a number less than $3.5 trillion?
No, right. Look, we're talking about numbers. You tell me what we should cut. Tell the working families of this country that we don't need to make child care affordable. Tell the American people and the younger people that we should not address the crisis of climate change and try to save the planet. Tell the homeless people that we should not build affordable housing. Tell the young people that we should not make community colleges tuition free. All we are trying to do is address the crises facing working families and demand that the wealthiest people in this country start paying their fair share of taxes. They are fighting back big time. But at the end of the day, I believe we're going to prevail.